So, my dear student, today we will be talking about the types of plants. See, these types of plant can be categorized into two parts. One, we can classify it on the basis of use and its duration. Another way is that we can classify it on the basis of what a plant seeks to achieve, means what is the objective of those plants or why these plants are prepared. So on the basis of use and duration, there are two types. One is single use, another is standing plant, right? And on the basis of what a plant seeks to achieve, there are 8 types. This we will be talking in detail later on. But first, let us understand that on the basis of use and duration. We will divide it into two parts. One is single use plant, another is standing plant, right? So as the name itself suggests, that single use plant means these are the plant which will be used for one time. Means these are not to be used for repeated time. These are not the recurring plant. These are a non-recurring situation. So we will define it in this way, that a single use plan is developed for a one time event or a project. So such a course of action is not likely to be repeated in future again and again. It means that they are for non-recurring situation, and the duration of this plan may depend upon the type of the project. So it may be say for a week or say for a month. So a project may sometime be of only even one day. So such as organizing an event, or you can say organizing a seminar, or we can say that organizing a conference. So these plans include budget and program. These are the two example of single use plan. Then comes the standing plan. A standing plan is used for activities that occurs regularly over a period of time. So it is designed in such a way so that this is ensured that the internal operations of an organization run smoothly. So such a plan greatly enhances efficiency in routine decision making. It is usually developed once but is modified from time to time to meet the changing requirement of the business. So standing plans includes policies, procedure, methods and rules. So these are the 4 examples of standing plan. Now here we must understand one thing. Single use and standing plans are part of the operational planning process. So there are other types of plan which usually are not classified as single use or a standing plan. So those also we'll discuss later on. Before we discuss those plans, now let us talk about the difference between standing plan and single use plan. So first we have to write the meaning, or the first basis which we can differentiate between these two can be the meaning of the standing plan and single use plan. So this we have already discussed, that you can always write it, and then example also we have discussed. So this also you can write as the last basis. Here you may write the types, or you can write even the example. Now let us take the second basis, that is period. So here you have to remember just one word. It is for long duration. Which one? Standing plan. And single use plan are for short duration. Then which levels of management is involved in preparing the standing plan? The answer would be top level management. And for single use plan, who are responsible to make it? The middle level and lower level management of the organization. Now if it is asked that what is the objective of preparing the standing plans, your answer should be that they have to attain the main goals of the organization. That is the main objective of preparing the standing plan. Now what is the objective of single use plan? I will say that it is to attain the specific goals of the organization. which will be dealing with the specific situations. So that you can write. Then if you have to differentiate on the basis of the nature, you'll say that once the standing plans are used for a long period of time and considered to be stable in nature. So the nature of the standing plan is what? These are stable, and single use, it is flexible. So this you have to remember. Then there may be one more basis, that how these standing plans are based upon, or on which basis you make it. So these are based upon the primary objective of the organization, and these are based upon the standing plans. So single use plan are based on standing plan. This you have to remember, or this is how you can differentiate between the standing plan and single use plan. Hope this is now clear. Now you remember that I said that we may divide it on the basis of what a plan seeks to achieve. So on that basis, how we can categorize the plan, let us understand this. So these are these types of plan. These are the 8 different types of plan which is given as a part of the syllabus. This we would be discussing one by one. Now let us understand the different types of plan. See, I have putting all these types of plan in a specific way. Now let us talk about these different types of plan. The first one is objective. The objectives serve as a guide for overall planning. So objective can be said to be the desired future position that the management would like to reach. Then the second one is the strategy. A strategy provides the broad contours of an organization's business. It will also refer to future decision defining the organization's direction and scope in the long run. Then the next one is policy. See, policies are general forms of standing plan that specifies the organization's response to a certain situations, like the admission policy of an educational institute. And the procedures describe steps to be followed in a particular circumstances, like the procedure for reporting progress in production. Then methods provide the manner in which a task has to be performed. Rules are very clearly stated as to exactly what has to be done, like reporting for work at a particular time. Then there are other types of plan which usually are not classified as single use or a standing plan. What are those? These are the objective and strategy. We will not classify it into any categories. Then the other one is program. Program consists of details including the like names of employees who are responsible for doing the work and contributing to the single use plan. So a program may consist of identifying steps, procedures required for opening a new department to deal with other minor work. So a program is combination of all the types of plan. Then a budget. A budget is a statement of expenses, revenue and income for a specified period. Now see, this has been placed for a specific reason, like these two objectives and a strategy. The first two, if you draw a line here, then these are the two plans which you will not categorize into any category or like single use or standing plan. Correct? Then these are the 4. We will draw a line here also. So these 4 one, policy, procedures, rules and methods will come into the category of the standing plan, right? And these two last one, the program and the budget, will come into the category of single use plan. If you just write like this, then it is very easy to understand, right? And I would advise you, just after this I would be discussing it one by one in detail. That time I would be giving the phrases which will help you to identify these different types of plan. So you may make a box here, like whenever I discuss about the objective, you can write all the things related to objectives here step point wise. Same way the strategy can be written here. Now also all the phrases you can write it here. All the points of the strategy you may write it here. Same way procedure, rules and budget and all these you can write. So in one diagram, in one mind map, all the types of plan and related to all the things, all the points you will have at one place. Okay, so for your convenience I would be showing it separately one by one. Okay, now let us discuss it one by one. So first one is the objective which I would be talking it. These are the definition, you may use it to write it. Okay, now we would be discussing it one by one. First one is objectives. See, the first step in planning is setting the objective for any organization. So we can say that the objective is the desired future position that the management would like to reach. So objectives are very basic to the organization and they are defined as ends which the management seeks to achieve by its operations. So an objective simply stated is what you would like to achieve, means the end result of the activities. And please remember it, these are usually set by the top level of the management in the organization. And the objective mainly focus on the broad and general issues of the organization. Then it represents the end point of planning, where we have to reach. It will be talking about this, so remember it. The objectives are the guides for overall business planning. It means that all other managerial activities are also directed towards achieving these objectives. These are the guide for overall business planning. See, basically we may say that they define the future state of affairs which the organization strive to realize. So they serve as a guide for overall business planning. And different departments or the units of the organization will follow this main objective and they will make their own objective accordingly. Now let us talk about the example. I am giving you some of the hints for the example, like increasing sales by 10% of a particular product within a specific period of time. That also you will have to say, then only it will be the complete objective. Another example you can say earning a reasonable rate of return on investment. You will have to fix up it, like at least 12% of rate of 12% should be the rate of return on our investment in the business in a year. Then there may be one objective like earning 20% profit from that business within 1 year, within 1 month, or whatever is the amount of the sales. So basically you have to remember it that whenever you are setting the objective, you have to keep this point in your mind. Smart. Objective should be smart. When I say objective should be smart means you have to go back and remember while I was discussing the process of planning, then I have discussed it in detail. This means what? The objective should be smart. Smart means S stands for specific, M measurable, A is for achievable or attainable, R is realistic or relevant, and T stands for time bound. If you have not seen the previous video while I was discussing the process of planning, do see that. Then the next type of plan is strategy. See, a strategy provides the broad contours of an organization's business. It's a comprehensive plan to achieve the organizational goal. It will also refer to future decision, defining the organization's direction and the scope in the long run. So we can say a strategy is a comprehensive plan for accomplishing an organization's objective. So can you see the link here? The strategy we will be making on the basis of the objective which we have discussed right now. And this is very important now to understand that a strategy usually includes these three dimensions. What are those three dimensions? Number one, determining the long-term objective of the organization. Second is adopting a particular course of action, that how the objective would be achieved. And then to achieve that objective, we need to allocate those required or the necessary resources. These are the three dimensions. Now, please remember here that whenever a strategy is formulated, the business environment needs to be taken into consideration. We know that the business environment keep on changing, and whether it is the change in the economic environment, political environment, social or legal or technological environment, all these will affect an organization's strategy. So strategies usually take the course of forming the organization's identity in that business environment. So the major strategic decision will include decision like whether the organization will continue to be in the same line of business, or they should combine new lines of activity with the existing business, or they need to seek to acquire a dominant position in the same market. So if we have to discuss this strategy taking one example, we will like to take the company's marketing strategy as an example. So a company's marketing strategy has to address these questions. For example, who are the customers? And what is the demand for the product? Which channel of distribution to use? What is the pricing policy? And how do we advertise these products? And these and many more issues need to be resolved while formulating a marketing strategy for any organizations. Correct? Now we will be talking about the policy. Policies are general statements that guide thinking or channelizing the energy towards a particular direction. So policies basically provide a basis for interpreting the strategy, which is usually stated in general terms. So are you seeing the connection? Strategy was based on objective, and this policy is based on strategy. See, the policies are the guides to managerial action and decision in the implementation of a strategy. So these provides the ways for interpreting the strategy. Then policies are the guides to managerial action and decision in the implementation of those strategies which have been formulated on the basis of objective. The policies are the general response to a particular problems or situation. See, there are policies for all levels and all departments in the organization, ranging from major company policies to the minor policies. But the major company policies are for all to know, like customers also should know about it, clients also should know about it, even the competitors also should know about it. But the minor policies are applicable to insider only and contain minute details of information which are very important for the employees of the organization. But remember, there has to be some basis for divulging information to others. Means you should know that which on information or which policy you have to share with others and which policy you should not. So the policies define the broad parameters within which a manager may function. The manager may use his or her own discretion to interpret and apply that policies. Now if we talk about the example, we may take an example of purchase policy. So suppose the decision taken under a purchase policy would be in the nature of manufacturing or buying decision. Should a company make or buy its requirement of packages, or what type of transport services they should use, whether they should use the road transportation, air transportation or water transportation. Then whether the printing of the stationery, what type of stationery they need to get it printed. Then water and power supply and all other such type of items. Like how should a vendors be selected for procuring the supplies? How many suppliers should a company make purchase from? What is the criteria for choosing the suppliers? So all these queries would be addressed by the purchase policy. You are also familiar with such type of example like recruitment policy, how the organization will recruit the people. What is the credit policy of the organization? Means how much days they will allow their customer to repay. So all these will come under the category of policies. All these phrases which I'm showing it here, you have to remember this. Please take this screenshot or make notes out of it. This will be a great help when you will be solving the case study, because these are the phrases, these are the words would be used in that case, which will help you to identify that, okay, here policy is being talked about. Then now let us discuss the another one. This is procedure. See, the procedures are routine steps on how to carry out the business activities. So basically they details the exact manner in which any work is to be performed. So you have to remember this exact manner. These are the routine steps. And remember, they are specified in a chronological order, like this step would be taken, then this, then this. The procedures are the very clearly specified steps that these are to be followed in particular situation. And remember, these are meant for insiders to follow. They are not generally shared to outsiders. That this is the procedure. And the sequence of steps or action to be taken are generally to enforce a policy and to attain the predetermined objective. So procedures are basically based on policy, or we can say that policies and procedures are interlinked with each other. So procedures are steps to be carried out within a broad policy framework. If we have to say the example, we can say that procedure for requisitioning the supplies, or what is the procedure to get admission in a school or college. So there is a stepwise, or the exact manner is mentioned there. No, there is a chronological order which you have to follow. Like first you will go to the reception of that school or college, you will buy one form, admission form, you will fill it up, you will submit it. There would be a written test, then there would be a oral test, there would be your viva or interview, then the parents interview, and then finally your documents would be checked. So there is a complete procedure. Now let us talk about the method. Methods provide the prescribed ways or manner in which a task has to be performed. So this word you have to remember. Prescribed ways or manner in which a task has to be performed. And obviously the method will be based on the objective. Then it deals with a task comprising one step of a procedure and specifies how this step is to be performed, right? So you can here easily see the link between the procedure and the methods. The methods may vary from task to task. A selection of proper methods will save definitely your time, money and efforts also, and definitely it will increase your efficiency of the organizations. See, in an organization the different types of methods may be adopted for different activities. Like here one example has been given, like you need to impart the training, you want to give the training to your employees. So at the various level different types of methods of the training would be used. For example, for the top level of management, the higher level of management, you may adopt the methods of orientation program, or you can go the methods of lecture to train them, or you may organize a seminar to train them. Then for supervisory level, the work oriented methods or the job on the job training method you can use to train them. One more example you can understand here, like diminishing balance method. Have you heard this? This is a known word to you. When we charge the depreciation, there are two methods, straight line method and diminishing balance method. Written down value method also we call it. Same way, when you will be studying the cost accounting in your graduation, then you will find this word LIFO and FIFO, last in first out, first in first out. These are the methods how the raw materials or the stock would be used. Now we will be talking about the rule. See, this is the simplest form of plan. Like nowadays we can see in the organizations there are new COVID rules When you go to any organization, school, college or office, you know, you have to wash your hands, you need to use sanitizer, you need to wear mask. So these are the rules. So rules are what? The specific statement that inform what is to be done. They do not allow for any flexibility or discretion. It reflects a managerial decision that a certain action must or must not be taken. So it clearly mentioned the do's and don'ts. And they are usually the simplest type of plan, as I said, because there is no compromise or change unless a policy decision is taken. Now the example, it's very easy. Like no smoking, please do wear helmet. Such type of rules are made in the organizations. They keep your mobile on silent or switch off mode while you are working. These are the example of the rule. Now I would be talking about the program. Like here, this is what PMEZP means, Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program. This is a program. So what is program? Now let us understand it. So programs are detailed statement about a project which outlines the all different types of plans. For example, objective, policies, procedures, rules, tasks, even the human and physical resources required for that, and the budget also to implement any course of action. So program basically consists all the types of plan into it. So this is a detailed statement in which all the plans are included. So we may say that the programs will include the entire gamut of activities as well as the organization's policy also, and how it will contribute to the overall business plan. So the minutest of the minutest details worked out, that is means the procedures, rule, budget within the broad policy framework would be discussed here. Now we can take the example like COVID care program, vaccination program. These are the programs. Now it will include everything. What is the objective? No, what is the budget of this? How the which method would be followed? What would be the procedure? What would be the policies? So it will include everything. Like annual appreciation program in the corporate. Now the last one is budget. It's a very simple word and you have many time heard about it. How will you define this? We'll say a budget is a statement of expected results expressed in numerical terms. So it's a plan which quantifies the future facts and figure. And it's a very good control device for which deviation can be taken care of. Like sales budget may forecast the sales of different products in each area for a particular month. A budget may also be prepared to show the number of workers required in the factory at peak production time. So it's a very good control device. Now we can take the example as cash budget, sales budget, production budget. Now let us take the example of this cash budget. The cash budget is a basic tool in the management of cash. It's a device which will help the managers to plan and control the use of cash. It's a statement showing the estimated cash inflows and cash outflows over a given period of time. So cash inflows would generally come from cash sales, and the cash outflows would generally be the cost and expenses associated with the operation of the business. So the net cash position is determined by the cash budget. Means inflow of the cash minus outflow of the cash is equal to the surplus, or if it comes into minus, we will understand that this much is the deficiency of cash. So now the management has to take the adequate decision for cash balance for various purpose. But at the same time, it should avoid excess balance of cash also. See, since budget represents all items in numbers, so it becomes very easy to compare the actual figure with the expected one, so that we can take the corrective action accordingly. So a budget is also a control device from which deviation can be taken care of, but making a budget involves forecasting. So it is clearly it will clearly comes under planning. Please don't get confused that is budget a device of controlling only? The answer is no. Budget is also a control device, but as it involves forecasting, so it clearly comes under planning. So it's a fundamental planning instrument in almost all the organizations. Hope this has made it very clear that what are these terms.